All right, we are back. Welcome to the show. It is Monday, January 8th. We already got quite a bit of people in the comments, but it's been a few weeks since we've done a formal show, a couple weeks, and a lot's happened since then. I don't even know where we should really start this week. We got Zach and Tony here. We got Zach in the house.
Let's go.
Good morning, good morning.
It has been a couple weeks.
Yeah,
we were.
It's like a formal one.
What happened? Christmas happened, and then you were in Florida last week, right?
I was in Florida last week. Yes, for a week.
Yeah, I got a hemorrhoid too. So
Oh.
A lot's happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I was laying up in bed, wasn't gonna do a show. So
you had the Christmas shits and had to push it out a little bit.
I'm gonna spare most of the details, but I mean we got time. Fellers is coming at some point today, so we got time. I'm trying to raise awareness because there's a lot of things I probably could have done differently to not go through that, but a lot of guys don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we won't talk about it on the show. Don't worry, you don't have to.
I've had one. It's a legit.
You've
thing.
had one?
Yeah.
A lot of guys won't even admit to it.
I mean, it happens.
It happens to a lot of people. How old are you?
It's more common than we were talking about.
Probably 5-6 years ago.
5-6 years ago. Okay.
I've been 32, 33.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a lot of pregnant women and older men. So I was trying to figure out how I got one, or people that have a sitting profession, which I don't. But yeah, I managed to get one, and then we were supposed to go to Vegas. Had to cancel that trip, which sucks. So I felt like a wuss because a lot of people were like, "You didn't go to Vegas? It was that bad? Really?" But I'm like, dude, no, I lost all my money for the trip or whatever. All the money that I had spent on the trip, if you cancel the day before and you don't have the insurance,
Damn.
it's a wrap.
Okay, so it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Did you have to put one of those things in your butt? It's a legit thing.
I'll tell you what. So
I always thought you got hemorrhoids because you try to poop too hard.
that is one.
You need to get a squatty potty. Have you seen the squatty potties?
I ordered one.
You got a squatty potty?
I got a squatty
there you
potty. Go. And I mean, there's diet, fiber, water, all that.
Yeah, this content is gonna.
This is an insane start to this.
Yeah, we can change it. My wife says I talk about it too much, but dude, I don't have a lot of significant medical things going on. So when I do,
Absolutely.
And that's just what's been happening since we've last. We got to keep people filled in on our real life whereabouts too. But
I mean, obviously the Ferrari thing happened. That was pretty much the social media storm that took away from Soldier Salute, Midlands
tonight.
And tonight he's on Clash of Combat.
The whole world is gonna be tuned in.
Who knows what he's going to say. I just didn't get the video of him in the car, which he clearly doesn't know how to do a burnout with, or what was he doing?
We're going to get to all of that. We got it.
So that was the big thing that blew up internet, but what else kind of happened? Because I was in Florida. I tried to disconnect a little bit because it was a family trip, but
yeah.
I mean, you and I almost beat Nebraska. I personally think they got screwed, I guess, on one call, and it kind of factored in, them losing to Nebraska. But their season has just been all over the place, right? They go and they lose to Columbia, which is a team that I think if they wrestled them again, they would beat them. And then a couple weeks later, they're beating one of the best teams that are in the Big Ten, which is Nebraska. So we're going to talk about that as well. Iowa State went out west. I know a lot of people are saying this is the new Iowa State podcast. It's not. We're going to talk about everybody. But they did go wrestle Arizona State on one of the worst streams I've ever seen in my life.
That was crazy.
That was bad. I did see some highlights on Iowa State social media.
Streams,
but I saw that and I started getting negative like that. I'm like, it is free. Should I be really thinking this?
Free.
If it's free,
it was free, but we can get into that too if you guys want to talk about that.
Was that one of the duels that was supposed to be on Fight Pass or no? Is it Arizona? Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I think it got passed around a little bit.
It got passed around a little bit.
Yeah, because I saw Flo was talking about it too. So is that the one that
Spay
they were
was
talking about that they were supposed to have?
That was the same duel that Spay was tweeting about.
Got it.
With Flo also being the one to present it, but then it went over to the Pac-12.
Yeah.
I guess we're getting into it,
huh? And then what else happened? A lot just happened. A lot's going on. It's been a weird year for gambling as well, which we won't talk about that right away either. But Tyler, how are you doing with your challenge?
I'm still alive is the thing. I've taken a little bit of a sabbatical because the collegiate duels just really gave you one of those days where you like, if it wasn't that it was a challenge, you'd be like, I'm done.
Collegiate duels were a little tough because just like
it was all over the place.
Yeah, random. It's like betting on football bowl season. Like you don't know what teams you're getting.
And yeah, all the lineup variance was insane, and so that didn't end up being my best day, and I haven't bet since then. But I'm about to hop back on it, and we'll see what I can do with this like $7.
7.
Yeah. I'm
you better
hanging
start
on by a thread.
You better start writing jokes.
Dude, I gotta write some jokes. I don't want to write them, but I gotta.
You're at $7.
Yeah. It went down to 7, dude. I was up to like 70 at one point. This is gambling, folks, but
this is why you don't.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because you just lose.
They just keep you.
Unless I do win. If I win,
then you're a gangster. Then you're back.
And you get your face on a mountain.
Yeah. I guess I get $500. That's about it.
You'd be on the Mount Everest of wrestling gamblers. I think if you go from $7 to $500 in 2 months.
Oh yeah, that's legit.
We'll see. We got a whole season. Back half.
Should we talk about the Midwest Wrestle stuff or no? That's probably not.
I mean, it got brought up obviously through Allison Schwab, and she actually didn't mention any names. Christian Piles was tweeting about it. A lot of discussion around it, and it's been something that's been going on for 3 years, like within the media, the world of what can you do, can't do, or what should they and shouldn't they not do about it, because it's. Man, that's a tough call of what you have legal, like what does a wrestling community have legally to like say, hey, you can't do this, right? What like, we've never really had that issue in the sport. If it has happened, it's like not been talked about, I guess. So,
and we're just saying what other people are saying. We have no clue what's going on.
Yeah,
a lot of allegedly.
Well, you can the assumptions are very. I mean, it's in your face. It's assumptions. Right. So at the end of the day,
I feel like we kind of have to address it a little bit, just because I saw like
it's one of the bigger stories.
Was talking about it, and so
wait, really?
Yeah, I think KB brought it up on the Yak, but
wow,
I think that look. I hope if there is wrongdoing, I'm gonna use careful with my words, I guess, but hopefully, I think enough people in the community know about it now that it can be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, why do we have USA Wrestling Safe Sport? Like, that's stuff that's supposed to protect.
I think
the
it's
sport of wrestling, right?
I think people have always known for a while though that Safe Sport has like a real limitation to just within it to like really
legality, probably reasons, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's probably changed my opinion too on the singlet 2-piece conversation.
Right.
I used to be like,
why
singlets are better, like 2 pieces are lame, but not necessarily like I just liked wearing the singlet. Like it kind of felt like puts you in the zone of you're ready to wrestle, you're ready to compete or whatever. But when you see stuff like that, I feel like there's a lot more benefit for a 2-piece now than there would be. Like the pros and cons don't outweigh itself for the singlet now, I feel like.
Yeah, that crowd of the 2-piece, like that is a huge benefit of that. But that's something that I don't think wrestling people ever think about. Like when you watch a wrestling video and dudes are wrestling in singlets, for wrestling people, it's just that's what it is.
It reminds me of like when you start wrestling and like you tell your friends and they're like, "Oh, that's gay. You're gay."
Yeah,
it's like that when you wrestle, you don't really even think about that.
Yeah,
Absolutely. But people who don't wrestle or whatever, this guy will have something to say about it. Gang in the house.
Well, hell, singlets are that's a sweet hat, fellas. What's up, bud? Singlets are getting like thinner too.
Are singlets gay or not?
Walking right into a conversation or what's going on?
Pretty much.
Yeah, singlets are getting like thinner.
Okay, basically what's going on right now is we're trying to figure out anything else to talk about than AJ Ferrari until you got here.
Wow.
So,
I mean, singlet, but what led on the singlet conversation?
Our singlets gay. We're trying to figure that out.
No, but I heard they sleep with somewhere. I don't know. I mean, everything's so easy to point out. I mean, you could say everything's gay then, I guess, right?
For more context, does the Midwest Wrestle debacle make a case for the 2-piece? The 2-piece.
I got a whole take on that too, if you want it. But
allegedly,
Well,
Yeah.
allegedly, yeah. You're on that allegedly tour, like Pat McAfee.
Our platform.
What's going to happen though is that basically photography is going to be taken out. I mean, if this continues to expand, everything can be interpreted that way. So now you're going to have to get consent to even post any pictures of anything. Like it's going to one scumbag or multiple scumbags ruin it for everybody. But the more it gets blown out in proportion, like you could take any picture that anybody posts and say there's a level of perversion to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
If you're
definitely
under 18, then you should have to have parent or kids consent. It's going to get crazy.
That's why I said
Yeah.
it's probably something that's not really going to go away, just because you can't really prove that. I made the comparison to like, you know, they don't blame Sudafed for people making meth. Like people are going to do bad things.
That was kind of a stretch comment there, but yeah.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to take away Sudafed just because people are happen to be making meth with it. Like they're not going to.
You weren't in Centerville this weekend, were you?
it just the person posting has to be aware of what is also happening, you know, in the chat. We've posted photos on Instagram that have gone on Facebook that have just gone crazy because someone shares it somewhere, so you have to delete it right away. Like it's plain fucked up that you have to even monitor your messages, not your messages, but like your comments of like what people are using this shit for. Like, and some things get passed. Like we had a TikTok that went pretty viral, and we found out that in the chat, like it was going viral for the wrong things, and that, you know, that shit gets deleted when that happens, right? But posting it, the posting of it is not the purpose is not for that to go viral for that reason. It's for it to go viral because it's a wrestling move.
How many views did that TikTok get?
I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah, but it was abnormally large. So then you're like,
you got to a level of monetization. Didn't think you go any further.
How much money
The
did
check
you
cleared.
make?
The check cleared.
the
The TikTok check came in.
Hey,
I'll take it down.
This
I'll
is a
take
whole
it
new
down.
NIL strategy, right?
yeah.
Whoa, better shut that down.
Yeah. All right, we can talk.
Let's get
about
into
it now.
Ferrari.
Let's
Yeah,
get into AJ
with
Ferrari.
fellers, Ferrari.
And by the way, all that stuff is just we don't know if anything's true or not. We're just going off what other people are saying.
The internet. I mean, the other side of it is the internet police. Is I don't know if you heard Jim Gibbons call.
What he
He called Jason Bryant. He's just being funny when he said it, but it's like the policing. If you don't go through, there's no jurisdiction other than USA Wrestling, right? For like Safe Sport, and then Safe Sport has some holes too, where I could just say I could accuse you of something and turn you in for Safe Sport and you're tied up. So, I mean, it's probably gonna have to happen at the local level, like whoever's holding. But okay, if you go to a tournament and someone takes a picture, everybody has phones in the gym, anyways.
Yeah.
Right. So if I take a picture, and it goes somewhere, and I was at your event, who's responsible for it, anyways?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was pointed out too that this shit is happening in other sports too, like men's water polo, I guess, is like an issue, but it's also happening in women's sports too, like women's volleyball. I guess there's like a huge issue with like the short shorts, obviously, right? If
Their uniforms probably don't help that.
you know, so I mean,
Are
it
those gay
is
too?
happening
Are
in
those
other
gay?
sports.
I think it's the exact opposite.
You know, I think you
What do you
just
think?
blacklist
Two
them.
pieces or singlets going forward?
I mean, two pieces. That's gay for me.
I don't like two pieces either.
So it doesn't deter your opinion on that at all. It's just still no.
I mean,
hard
you're
no.
gonna have scumbags. I mean, whatever you do, there's gonna be people that.
Right.
You can post a picture of your kid on a playground set, and there's gonna be some creepo out there saying, "Ooh, I'd like to play with that kid." Like,
You're gonna find a
fucked up
way to
stuff.
pervert it.
Damn, you're in a different kind of chat room.
That's gonna get clipped. That's gonna get
Well, someone posted in that forum a video, like when they were like basically saying I Russell did this. It was a video of actually my son that I posted.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
That I Russell was posting this for certain reasons. It's my own son. I posted the video, so obviously I'm not.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. So
So the
It's a strange world.
learning from the story is stay away from social media.
Stay away from, the internet.
all right, Ferrari.
Ferrari. We gotta
Ferrari.
get into this. So tonight, if you guys are watching this and you're on YouTube, you can go over to the Clash of Combat YouTube channel and watch AJ Ferrari. I guess I don't know if it's live or if it's pre-recorded. What's going on? But at 6:00 Central Time, they will be interviewing AJ Ferrari. I'm assuming he's going to be talking about his future with the Iowa Hawkeyes, somebody else. Maybe he's just going to clear the air. Maybe he's going to apologize. Maybe he's not going to apologize. Maybe he's going to make some sort of announcement. But either way, it's going to be entertaining. I want to know, what do you guys think? What do you think the angle is? Because if he is going to Iowa and I'm Tom Brands, the last thing I want him to do is come on air and talk. So, what do you think's going to happen?
Where do you want to start the conversation?
Right there. What do you think's going to happen tonight? Like, what's the goal tonight? There's clearly an agenda.
Attention whore.
You think it's just attention for attention?
I mean, you rolled up in that car you probably got from Hertz, rent a car. I don't know where. Last week with the whole bid he did, zero self-awareness. I mean,
I think it was calculated.
Come on, bro. So he wasn't ever going to come to Iowa is what you're telling me?
No, I'm saying. Oh man, go ahead.
Let's unravel what happened.
Are you saying it's calculated in the sense like Soldier Salute was the only thing I really heard about, and it's almost like it was developed to get attention? Is that what you're saying?
I think that there's a reason why he would post. I don't think he was just posting it for attention. I think he's going to let us know tonight. But I want to know. I don't think that with that caption that he says, right? Like he's very.
What was the caption?
Says it was something along the lines like Iowa Hawkeyes ? Right?
Yeah.
And then unless anybody else wants to offer me more.
Yeah,
right?
but he called out. He called five. He reached out to 5 different schools and told them the one and only. JLP. He reached out to Oregon State, named his price. Nebraska, Arizona State, Northern Colorado. They were all. He reached out to them. So this also might be a point of desperation of. Iowa ? Like, he don't have a home, and if he doesn't continue to promote himself for whatever reason, I mean, where does he go? In my opinion, I don't think he's gonna go anywhere.
Well, if he's not,
I think I want that money from you and everybody else that was taking him. On this bet, he's going to do so good at NCAAs. Was it you who was on that?
No.
Oh, maybe someone else.
I would actually like apologies.
From who?
From you and all the other YouTube comments when they were saying I'm an idiot when I was saying that AJ should have went to the UFC and not college wrestling. And first of all, the
conversation was, what is his NIL value higher at Iowa than anywhere else? And that's still a very true thing.
First of all, you guys were arguing about like two different things for like 10 minutes.
We did. but here's the thing. I would like to apologize. I would like to admit that I was wrong because I said that he should go to the UFC. That's what I said, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to apologize. I was wrong. I think college wrestling is better with AJ Ferrari in it. And I think it's even better when he's on the Iowa Hawkeyes. So I take that back. Oh. I don't think that he should go to the UFC. I think that he should be wrestling for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They need him.
I love this cynical sarcasm here.
No, they need him.
I'm gonna walk out right now.
How many team points behind Penn State are they? I think they should have him come in, the 49-pounder come in, and in a few years they got the youngest one. So me personally, I take that back. He should not go to the UFC, even though the punch was great.
No, I was going to say he was going to UFC because you seen him hit or what?
The punch was great or slap,
great.
whatever Chael
it was
said.
A slap. I'm tired of people saying he threw a punch.
But I think that he should be wrestling for Iowa. That's what I think.
Why is that? Let's do pros and cons.
Okay.
Let's whiteboard it.
Okay, pros.
So what's the pros?
Selling more tickets.
No, that's a lie.
It's already sold out. Already sold out.
Okay, attended better.
There's
a difference.
I would also maybe disagree with that. Like, because here's the whole thing. If he doesn't do the splits double bird to the crowd and it's just him and Glazier gets into it, and he gets DQ'd. Okay, I could play he's not with the University of Iowa. He's not affiliated with the team. Blah blah blah. Has skirmish that happened with a couple other guys. Okay, you go on, right? But at the point where you're in Iowa City, Soldier Salute's basically a Hawkeye event, right, or in-town event, and then the crowd starts to boo you, and you double bird your home crowd or your fan base. I would say you may have revolt from the fan base of saying, no, fuck it, we're not coming to the duel because AJ Ferrari's wrestling.
Okay.
What's Iowa's biggest? What's Iowa wrestling's biggest? The biggest staple that they have as a program, in my opinion, fan base. That drives funding, that drives branding, that drives relevance, that drives attendance, hype, viewership, everything else, okay? If I'm the leader of this team and I know I have this fan base regardless, and I'm behind how many points and bringing this guy, and he tells the fan base that supported me for the last X amount of years, fuck off. So at that point, if I'm a fan, do I say, okay, he's openly birded the fan base, has no respect for the brand or anything else. So if I'm the leader, if I'm the coach, the head coach of the team, at that point, am I saying this guy's more important than the fan base?
I totally understand what you're saying, but you gotta understand this. Their first duel back is against Nebraska, and who's he gonna have to wrestle at 197 for Nebraska? Silas Allred, who's what, top 10? Even if he's not ranked top 10 right now, we know he's a top 10 guy. He's a Big Ten champion. He comes back. He beats Silas Allred. They're on board. It takes one top 10 win, and I think they're on board.
But what are we really on board with?
He just got beat by Glazier.
Listen.
If you're going into sudden victory with Glazier,
here's the deal, guys.
It was his first match back.
I don't care if he's getting. I wanted to comment on the story when he did the whole thing, but I didn't. He said two whatever it was for how much for the NIL, and I'm saying I wanted to comment. Well, how much? If you're getting paid this much, I wonder how much a starter Iowa makes. Meaning that because he's the backup right now.
Yep.
And you know what? Do you think he can really go with, he beat Joey Novak, who's a true freshman, by a point. I knew when he was wrestling the second or third string from Iowa State and he started like clown on him, flex and stuff. It's like you could see this building, guys.
But he didn't really score a lot of points when he was true freshman either.
Okay, so best case scenario. Okay, best case scenario. Iowa's right now projections. I think they're down like 50 or 60 points to Penn State. Okay, so best case scenario. Let's say he wins the national title, or is a finalist. You get 15 points. Okay, what is that 15 points? Getting third, fifth, eighth, whatever the place is it really worth all the other bullshit you got to deal with? Because let's not kid ourselves. Chittum's openly said that they left because of the Ferraris. They've signed Angelo Ferrari as next year's class. The following year, they've got a commitment from Leo DeLuca, but they don't. They have no other big commitments in those the next 2 years.
It's I think we said from the beginning with the Ferraris to Iowa is that it was a make or bust situation, right? Like
well, once you hear that the Chittums are leaving because of it, I mean that could just be past blood or whatever that might be, or past issues. But the underlying issue is you leave in Iowa where you feel really comfortable going to, thinking about having your career there. And then one kid can change that, or one family can change that. That should be a pretty bad flag, I guess.
If you had to give me a state, like what does Tom Brands in your mind, what they preach, what do they always say about the Iowa being part of the Iowa brand? We're different, right? When graduate, do it right. Do the hard things, but do the right things. Okay. So everything that your brand has stood for, you as a human being, your program, accountability, all those things, are you at this point, if you bring the clown show being him, I have no problem with the other one at this point, the 49-pounder. He hasn't done anything. But at this point, if you bring him, are you saying, okay, all that matters unless you can win? Or what do you really stand for then?
Yeah, Tom is in a bad spot right now with this, like...
Oh, he's not.
How do you handle it? Right?
Here's what I would say if I'm Tom.
If you pass on AJ,
you had your chance. Okay, Ferraris, if it was a package deal, okay, we were more than willing to take your whole family on. Okay, we've given you every opportunity. We've done everything. Before you fucked it up. I mean, we didn't do. We had guys in your corner. We didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
that was a decision you made. And you know what? This decision may not be Tom's at the end anyways. It may go to the AD.
So, what do you think is his goal tonight then with the show?
What's his goal with everything?
Just attention, you think?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't think that,
if you
don't think the guy's not addicted to the attention and social media and the what if and the cliffhangers, then I mean, he has a point of relevance right now that he hasn't had since he was 665. I mean, he's always, since he won the national title, he's been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this could have been his opportunity to like you can be somebody on social media, and then on the mat, like they always say, let the mat, the wrestling take care of itself. But he showed like the part that we love about AJ Ferrari is still there. Like, but we now kind of turn to like even more people hating him. Like there was probably zero net positive for the AJ Ferrari brand, other than just being more of a villain for the later life of UFC or WWE.
I will say this. I feel like at the Soldier Salute when he was wrestling Zach Glazier, I was surprised how the Iowa fans that were there were how fast they were chomping at the bit to cheer for Glazier. They weren't booing Ferrari until the stuff happened later on, but during the match, they were like, you could tell they were sitting on the edge of their seat more so for Glazier, right? And then when all that stuff happens and Glazier gets his hand raised, which was a surprise to I think everybody that's how that ended up going down. They screamed immediately. Like they were so excited to cheer for Glazier. And I think that's probably also a testament to Glazier and what he's done for them. Mm-hmm. And showing like their support for him. And going back to your point with AJ scoring what you said 15 team points,
that's best case.
Best case, right? You got to understand too that Zach Glazier's not a slouch, and he's probably going to get you at least 14 points ish, something like that. Like you never know, right? Mm-hmm. So the difference isn't even 15; it's probably more like 10, 11.
That's best case scenario. So it's like, are you willing to take the hit? I mean,
but we can't ignore though that the one in high school is like pound for pound number one, and all signs indicate that everybody says that he's the one that doesn't have the baggage or whatever.
I understand that completely, and I think that they've extended an olive branch per se to make it a family ordeal.
Sure,
but at what point do you sacrifice? I mean, Angelo could blow his knee out and be done forever. First, before he even gets there, and then you sacrifice your whole program for. I mean, there's an effect here, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, remember the position when the Kemmer and Spencer Lee and Max Mirren and that whole class came in, and there was this big thing that they were turning the page and they're going to do things right, and then we're going to get rid of the party and all that shit. Remember that was who the Iowa Hawkeyes were, and we saw that everywhere. So is that the same Iowa Hawkeyes now, or are we different now?
Yeah, going back to being.
I mean, look at some. They don't even talk about Drake Ayala, beating. I mean, so no one leaving Soldier Salute even talked about the wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So you don't think that's going to continue?
I will say this: the guys in Iowa City or Coralville should be writing AJ a check for how much promo the Soldier Salute got, because as far as I was concerned, everybody was talking about how that was not a good tournament. Everybody was kind of mad that Midlands is getting so diluted because they came in. But in the end, freaking AJ got them enough promo for the whole year.
Like primo entertainment. And
potentially bad though. Like
I don't think so for the tournament.
No, I mean they might get like Iowa Central or something to come next year.
Thinking about it, though, that's still somehow out of everything, somehow a kid doing the splits and a double birds is the craziest thing I've ever seen in college wrestling.
I said
some way, somehow.
There was
listen, guys, it's comparable to what Antonio AB did, taking his jersey off, running off the when he played for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Or the Bucks. Was it the Bucks?
I like that comparison.
Dude, listen, this is a mental. I mean, as much entertaining as it is, guys. There's a lot of red flags here that there's some bigger problems.
Yeah, I agree with your
so we're all feeding it. We're feeding it. It's like, okay, let's keep dumping. Like, let's put some more gasoline on for because it's entertainment. But all bullshit aside, the kid needs help.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he kind of put out that fire himself by having that meltdown. Like, I think that pretty much ends everything for him. But
he apologized.
He
apologized after he posted the Scarface thing to start with on his Instagram about everybody that it's when the guy in Scarface hits the girl and
right.
I mean, so was the apology like really heartfelt, or was it like, come on?
It's probably.
I feel bad for the the dad was visibly upset too. Like what the hell, AJ? Like, you know what I mean? Like, upset with him. It's a trickle effect that Angelo and whoever else in the family just has been. It's a brother, so I understand. Like, you're gonna stay with your brother regardless, but it's
bad for business.
It's unfortunate that a guy like with this much ability, he just needs to be managed, and he can't be managed. Obviously, I mean John Smith. I'm sure they turned over everything that they could there to do and not do. I mean, maybe he needs someone to manage him, but even at that point, as long as he still has his phone in his hands and he has a crowd that he can feed off of, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. And he just what you said is, I think, really the root of it all is that he just really doesn't have great self-awareness at all. And so in that situation,
but why would
that's the strangest defense.
Every time I do
mechanism
something, every time I do something fucking stupid or looks outlandish or out of bounds, it feeds the drug that he wants, which is the attention, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
so that in his mind, that's okay, maybe a negative short term, but at the current time, he's the center of buzz for 2 weeks of wrestling. Mm-hmm. I mean, his name, impressions or whatever else, he's getting time on Clash of Combat. I mean, that's the only thing people are talking about right now still. What's he going to do? So is it really bad for him? I don't know. Maybe it was a shtick. Maybe he was never going to go to Iowa.
Well, I thought for a second, honestly, I thought your take was I was trying to do mental gymnastics about what you were going to try to say. And I thought you were going to say that he was going to, the whole soldier salute thing was calculated to a point where he's talked a big game. He's been gone for 2 years. He comes in college as a true, freshman national champion, and then he's gone for 2 years. He's talked a big game and everything, right? That's a lot of expectations. And I think we saw a lot with Downey when he was kind of the last person that really, that we could put in this tribe of athlete. And he would always do the same thing, right? He would get all this attention and stuff and build up a lot of momentum behind himself. And then when came time to compete, Downey was MIA. Something would happen with Downey where he would get in trouble. Actually,
on purpose.
This would happen at Iowa, right? I'm not going to get into that, but with Ferrari, you've been gone for 2 years. You were the man. You were the champ. You come back. You know that the odds are stacked against you because everybody else has continued to wrestle. I'm not saying he didn't train, but so that's a lot of expectation for me to live up to. I know if I pop something off here that I'm going to get, that's it, right? So is there some of that, you think?
What,
like self-sabotage?
Yeah. Like when Tyson bit Holyfield's ear because he knew he wasn't going to beat him and everybody deemed him as the baddest motherfucker in the world. And he could tell, in his own head, he could rationalize that he didn't get beat by him. He got disqualified. Yeah. Maybe it is. I was pretty calculated.
Yeah.
So you don't think there's any? I know that you
in the moment you think,
I know that you think that he's naively just like, oh, attention, let me just do it, whatever. But
I don't think he's thinking anything. I think
there's some level of calculation behind what he's doing.
You think that he thought, okay, I'm going to push off this guy. I thought the whole thing with Glazier's. I think he thought like Glazier's. I'm AJ Ferrari. Why are you wrestling me so hard? Like.
No, I'm not saying that I think that, but asking if that's a thing. If people think that, if you think that, because if you look at it, what if I'm being told he was there for a month, right? Mm-hmm. He was posting Iowa, like he was posting everything was good. So it makes no sense to me, unless him and Zach Glazier have something going on that we don't know, but why would he pushed off his head really hard? That's something that you do against, a rival or whatever, right? So why do that?
Yeah, it makes zero sense. That's where Fellers is making sense of, like, he's just flying by the seat of his pants. He doesn't know what's.
You don't think
he's not. What if Glazier would have cowered, nothing would happen? You still think he double birds the crowd?
And I think that could happen from he had the crowd like actively against him, like you said that whole time. I don't think AJ knew what to do.
They weren't against him until they booed him until he
right. But they were
cue it up.
They were just with Glazier.
It started at that Iowa State match. I mean, he was like, shushing Brett Metcalf. I'm not sure what was being said. I heard what was being said, but then the day, like, when you're acting like that during a match, you're on the radar right away. This kid's gonna be.
No offense to the Iowa State kid, but That kid hasn't won a Division I match this year, and he's, I think, our 4th or 5th 97-pounder, which is not our strongest weight. So that, to me, tells me that he was looking for a reason the whole day, the whole weekend.
He wanted an out?
To get out. I'm not saying that's what happened, but...
So what's going to happen? Let's play this hypothetically, right? Okay, let's say he does get on the team, okay? And just for what we've seen thus far, and this is I'm just making a hypothetical, so I'm not saying this is going to happen. Iowa, Penn State, and Iowa City. Is it Iowa City this year?
Yes.
Okay. Aaron Brooks, 300 or however big crowd they got. And he gets his ass pounded. He gets embarrassed or gets beat bad. You think he's going to represent the University of Iowa good on BTN? Do you think he's just going to take his ass whooping and go off, or do you think he's going to make a scene? You better be playing those.
That's why I signed up for the Ferrari show.
You better be playing those scenarios through your head if you're Tom Brands.
That's why you buy Big 10 Plus.
What?
That's why you buy Big 10
That's
Plus.
why we sign up for the ride. That's why we buy the ticket.
Okay, but there's impact because at that point, that's also a direct reflection of what your choices you're making as a leader and a program.
Yeah. Imagine he wins.
One thing too. That's
let me imagine.
Well, I think one thing that is not getting talked about either that has Iowa fans concerned is not just the way that AJ handled it, but the Ratchey match with Ferrari, like how Ratchey flexed on him. Which, I mean, people have to fucking remember that these are D1 athletes. Their dream is to be a D1 national champ. So going against your teammate and winning a match is impactful, and it's a big deal because now you feel like you're the guy, right? But like Ratchey's never really been that guy that acts like that. So to me, as an Iowa fan, looking at that, like there's a deep kind of thing happening with other athletes that don't even wrestle AJ or are affected by AJ Ferrari's. That like there's some toxicity in there. I think
Caleb said in an interview though. He said these guys thought they're just going to come in to be their spot.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I mean, I like the competition factor within the team. I think it makes a better team overall.
It did kind of seem like animosity beyond competitiveness, though, with the Iowa roster against the Ferrari family that day. A little bit.
Oh fuck! Give me the poor me.
Well, when Etchemin Dia
basically they're saying you got to earn. I mean, my thing is
I'm a fellas here. I think that
you got to earn to be a part of the crew. I mean, I would say to that point the animosity or the spillover effect is like I've never seen Gabe Arnold act the way he did in some of those matches either. So now the bigger trickle effect's going to be, and I said something to Gabe, the bigger trick is, okay, AJ does this or whoever does this to get attention. So now does everybody start acting out a little bit just because they want to see? Yeah. See, there's a trickle effect here, guys.
I think you've said this before on the shows that we've done in other seasons, or maybe just
season 1, episode 4.
It's other conversations that we've had is that's part of kind of you see guys go to Iowa City as a certain person, and then when they leave, they become someone else. And I'm not saying that has anything to do with Iowa or the staff or anything. That's just the attention that they get.
It's different there.
And you got to be able to, like, I think Drake's handled the attention well, right? Like, there's guys who Drake seems to be the kid that he's always been. And, even through the Spencer stuff, even when, the whole Facebook thing or whatever, right? Drake didn't care. Drake was just like, whatever. Like, Drake just wanted to wrestle Spencer Lee. That was it. That was what he wanted to do. Some guys go to Iowa City and they see all the Facebook comments telling them they're the man, the Twitter and the Hawkeye Report pages and everything like that. And they start to believe that, right? They start to believe everything that people are saying to them online. And I'm not saying that has anything to do with, Iowa as a program. If any program had that much attention on them, it's interesting to see how they respond.
Both ways, right? Both try to feed into it, so falsely believing that you are, and the other side is that not hope you don't fuck up, and because the pressure's like every move, regardless, is going to be under high speculation, good or bad, social media, forums, whatever you want to say.
I think that kids that go to Iowa with personality to begin with are the ones that struggle the most, where the kids who go there who aren't as, they're kind of more about the wrestling side of things, do fine. But if you go to Iowa with a little bit of personality in there, and then you have that, booster on your back, you become somebody different. You mean
everybody, like, if you want to be as Chill P would say, if you want to be a tough guy or a bad guy, you can't be a fake tough guy going to Iowa City. Meaning, like, if you want to talk to shit and be it, then you, if you're going to play that role, then you better be it, or you're going to get
exposed.
You're going to get. I mean, everybody's going to get exposed. I mean, that's going to happen all the time. But I would say the bigger thing is like going back to is AJ wrestling. Okay, let's say if AJ does get on the team, okay, I know Glazier's certified at 84. I did some digging on the track. Called my informant out of Arizona, and
the Corby report.
So then Gabe Arnold has to go. If AJ Ferrari, you're saying you need team points, okay? Well, first thing is let's pull the shirt off Gabe Arnold and put him in. Okay, if they're looking for quote unquote points, that should be the first move. If we're saying we're trying to close the gap on points, if you're trying to put your best team out there, then there's no way in hell that AJ or Gabe Arnold does red shirts this year, and maybe he won't. Do you agree or not?
I think Gabe should go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
No, I'm saying if everybody's saying, well, we need the points to close the gap. Okay, then fucking Gabe Arnold should be wrestling this Friday.
The Gabe thing never made sense to me, anyways. Redshirting him because, you redshirt guys for multiple reasons, but one is development, right? And the guy's already proven that he can beat top 10 guys at multiple weights, and it's not going to get any easier for him as far as like injuries. And
I think it's what we've learned the last couple of years is that youth. Being older and D1 wrestling has not proven out to be an advantage. Right. And the only way for Gabe to truly advance and grow and get better is you got to put him in the fire.
Mm-hmm. I think that they should have pulled the red shirt after the Iowa State duel.
Yeah.
I think they were still seeing if Nelson's going to come back and then weights things.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what's Kennedy do now? Is Kennedy a senior?
Yeah.
Is he a senior?
I don't know. Maybe junior. I don't know. But I mean, him and Caliendo wrestled. I mean, there's some. I mean, what's his? Does he have any animosity? Like, you had a transfer come and take his spot.
Yeah. Should we move on?
What do you want to move on to?
UNI, Nebraska. UNI almost did it. Almost took out a top Nebraska team. They've had a weird year. We talked about it. They lost to Columbia earlier this year, a team that they could have beat, but I would like to give a shout-out to Indianola's own Ryder Downey. Took out Peyton Robb.
Boom.
Big win for him.
Insane.
Did you see it?
Of course I saw it.
What about Happel? 1A kid, also doing business.
Bouncing back.
What's up? Trevor Anderson.
Those are huge wins.
What was your take? What did you think of the Volker pin?
He's pinned.
I saw a replay from the right angle, and it looked like he
I
was
mean,
glued
the way
for a
the ref,
little
you
bit.
never see the call made like that. Right? So, like, it caught her off guard, like, because the ref was kind of out of position. He jumped over there and hit the bit, but, I mean, he was pinned. I mean,
There's a reel on Big Ten
guys,
Instagram that
and people are going to get mad at me. Doug Schwab probably get mad at me, but at the end of the day, you and I still should have won the duel after getting pinned. They lost a team point.
They did, which is the dumbest rule.
I know, but still.
Yeah. I think Nebraska lost one too. I think.
Yeah, all red through his headgear. How come Nebraska didn't wrestle the big football player in the last match?
Dude, not enough people are talking about that.
Yeah. Nick Ryder tweeted out, like, why didn't he wrestle UNI at heavyweight?
Well,
They had all this promotion around Polar Bear.
I feel like you got a guy like Gordon who's, was preseason ranked top 10. They probably don't want to throw him against him, but no one's talking about that kid even just literally walking across the hall to the wrestling team. I mean, hey,
Keeter talked about it, and this guy did it.
Yeah.
Well, Keeter will be back.
He might be back this week. You never know.
But everybody's
in Nebraska, we could have two football players going on the mat.
This football player literally was never the plan. I don't think people remember they had Owen Pence was going to be their heavyweight at the beginning of the year, and I think he retired and went off to the farm or whatever. So they got this other guy, right? And they literally just call up the 4-time state champion from South Dakota and
undefeated,
say, hey, undefeated, and say, hey, you want to wrestle a little bit? Yeah, sure, why not?
I love it.
Literally days later. I mean, I don't think this was in the works for very long, was it?
Dude, he was hyped up though. Their promotion for him joining it was like pretty crazy.
It was crazy. It was so hyped they got 1,200 people at the duel.
Yeah. And he delivered too.
Go Big
that was
Red,
insane.
baby.
1,200.
I mean, was it maybe that many?
I think that's just.
They got a 30th of what they get for women's volleyball.
Ooh.
But they're sold out for X amount of years. Yeah. I was just being funny about the rest. But maybe they didn't think that guy, maybe he's not good enough shape. They thought he was gonna gas out. Didn't he get taken down a couple times by the Wyoming guy?
I didn't watch it. I just saw he got a pin.
I just saw the ending.
I saw the ending.
I don't
too.
think you
Ripped,
could even
ripped
watch
that guy's arm off like a lamb chop.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't he pin him in the first period though?
Was it?
I don't know.
I believe so.
Yeah, it
First
wasn't
period
streamed.
pin.
Uh,
That's wild.
Sounds like the crowd was pretty hostile to you and I, from what I've been heard from a couple media members.
I feel like it's.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this.
What's the thing?
And it got blown up a little bit.
Like, do you think they're like Schwab? He rides the refs hard as shit from the first match to the end, like bad. Like, do you think there was? He never got a bench warning, whatever. There's some gabbing going on. We've seen the gab. No one's talked about the gab. Well, everybody talked about that. The two biggest things out of Soldier Salute was the Terry Brands and Doug Schwab interaction and the Ferraris, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's everybody talked about.
Yeah.
Which that was
The drama.
the funniest
So funny.
way to call somebody a pussy. You big puss.
No, but if you watch it though, like
we need that soundbite.
Terry's like saying that's a pretty quick call there, and then Schwab runs over and I think he grabs like a nosebleed or something. He grabs, cry about it. Like understand. Oh, okay, Schwab. Cry about
You
your
cry.
big
No, he
puss.
said you cry about it, Schwab.
Schwab, big
paws.
I mean, that stuff happens too a lot.
I remember it was like everyone's like, oh, he should be
tournaments.
ridiculed. He's on tape. I'm like, if all the cuts of tape and video were done about
yeah.
coaches, it'd be unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They're
defended
mic'd up.
I defended Tom Brands back when the
That
big
was
Ten
Terry.
one. Who
It
was
was
the one that was like on Michigan Tough Wrestling? Was that Terry?
Yeah, it's
You don't like
Ragusan.
Tough Wrestling? Okay, so I remember defending him back then. People were like saying that
It's always Terry on the sound bites.
He should get. People were saying like they should get in trouble or whatever, right? I'm like, no. If you guys watch football games, you would see, and they showed the sidelines of any football game, you would know that.
And these guys are at a huge disadvantage. You got a video camera right there
with a mic.
every match. It's like they're mic'd up every match.
Really? Yeah. And it's not super loud in there. Like football games are so loud that you're not going to hear any of that.
It only got clipped because it was Terry Brands.
Yeah.
It was funny though.
Yeah, I mean, it only got clipped because it was him. That shit happens.
Yeah, but then you got people. Here's the thing: you got people within the sport, even within maybe your own teams, and like promoting it, families, promoting it, like making it a bigger spectacle. Like, I don't know. I'm really perturbed by social media right now. Everybody says grow wrestling, plays the fucking violin, want to do all the right things. At the end of the day, it's a bunch of people either pour me for attention or if they're not getting it. You know what I mean? It's just it's bad right now.
If Ferrari wrestles against Penn State, there'll be a lot of people that aren't wrestling fans that will watch, I think.
More people have talked about
I mean, that's
college
all.
wrestling to me in the past 2 weeks that are not college wrestling fans than the past 2 years that he's been gone.
It's all we talked about at Winter Nationals. Coaches, club coaches, parents. I mean, everyone is talking about the Ferrari situation. It's
So what is that?
It's crazy.
So what does that impact the next? That tells even the little kids act like a jackass. You're gonna get attention.
Well,
Yeah.
that's one thing
I mean,
thought
that's
of.
what it is.
Yeah, but he didn't write the playbook. I mean, it's been the playbook for.
There is no playbook. It's just off the cuff.
Well, what I'm saying is like it's not exclusive to AJ Ferrari. Like we've had other people in wrestling that have acted similar ways. I'm not gonna
Like
name
who?
names. I'm not gonna name names. I think you're trying to do some TMZ over here and try to get me canceled or something.
What do you mean canceled?
Trying to get me outed. Like
There's
to
no-
come in
you're
and start,
uncancelable.
Like, well, this guy.
No, I mean,
But he's not exclusive to. He's not the only one in
you
wrestling
ever
that has.
who ever flipped off the crowd?
That he is the only one. That is the
in
only
a
one.
splits.
I will admit. Which, by the way,
Put that
you need to have
photo in the Louvre.
art department.
They were trying to get Brett
Make
Metcalf. They're trying to get Brett Metcalf DQ'd from the tournament and all of his points taken away when Caldwell was doing the backflip and he was still trying to wrestle, push him, whatever. If he had done this to the crowd, do you think that? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like something we haven't seen. I'm not saying it's the entertainment factor is great, whatever. But
AJ doing a splits and double bird in the national finals.
Yeah.
as he walks off,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would.
I mean that's a heel move, right? If you're smart and know how to play the heel. But you can't write apologies if you're really the heel.
Absolutely.
That's what I said. Everybody was
Yeah.
talking about how cool the Tony Montana clip was. I was like, Tony Montana would never do
Then he had to ruin
an
that.
Instagram story.
Well, that's really who he is. That's what I'm saying. Like that's really how he thinks about the situation. That was his real reaction. Like fuck all you guys. Everybody's gonna be a bad guy. Like he really thought that, and then we deleted that, and then put the the apology from must have been ChatGPT wrote it for him or someone on Instagram on a story. It was different.
Yeah, but I want to know.
So
this, like,
you ever seen people that play the heel write apologies?
do you feel like there's any sort of like do you feel like there's any sort of like bail for him because he you feel like there's any sort of bail for him because he went and to Iowa City, right? He goes there, right? And then he thinks he's part of the team.
He's not. He's unattached.
I know, but he's got coaches in the corner and everything like that, right? But then all of a sudden, his people are booing him.
His people?
Well, if he thinks
his
that,
people?
if he thinks that, if he's on the team, he's gonna think that, right?
If he's one, if I see what you're trying to say, like
So you fit right in with the entitled mindset of people today.
No,
I'm AJ Ferrari. I'm the man. You guys all should just love me right away. Knowing that you're coming with all a bunch of baggage,
what
it's
I'm saying
delusional.
is
well, when you
going
wrestle
there.
for Iowa, you're like most Iowa fans be like, "Oh yeah, come on in." But this now fans are like, "Not sure if we want you, big cat."
Well, there's no
That's
way.
what like.
Yeah,
We
and
do
how many
want
people
you?
have gone to this AD to be like, "There's no way this kid can come here," and she's not going to let him come when she gets that much of a headache before he's even there.
I just think that if you're there, if I'm like, hey, I'm on your guys' team now, and then you're booing me, I'm gonna flip you off too. I might.
Well, but if they're on the same team, why are you swinging your teammate?
if what? If we're on the same team, competition, boys can't be boys.
Well, I guess they can. You had 8 or 9 minutes to be the band though.
And he won.
Dude, there's been a lot of development over this show about this topic. Do you guys want to hear what Twitter's saying? What Matt Scouts
Is that what the
is
breaking
saying?
news was? Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. That's what
Max House
he
is
was
a
showing
troll.
me.
So whatever he's saying, that's
Breaking
true.
He
news.
said he posted. Well, he's posting a screenshot of a form, so this isn't a good start. But
Is it Lisa Morales?
said if true, it would explain a bunch of stuff. This poster is notoriously accurate. The guy said AD said no AJ, but the dad wants them to all stay together, so they're out shopping. Problem for the family is that no one can take AJ. And then the wrestling room, Pat, replied to it and said, heard Iowa is wanting AJ to Olympic red shirt and maybe try to enroll next year after things settle, ... Interesting. And then Matt Scott said he doesn't even qualify for an Olympic red shirt. So,
Yeah, but Matt Scott's was wrong though.
yeah.
No, because I guess he won the NCAA title before the last Olympic
yeah, it
title.
was
Mm.
2020.
So
He
he
could go. He could. But all that sounds pretty accurate. I mean, I don't know, but
if
it
you're-
makes
Sounds
sense.
plausible.
If it's accurate, why don't? I guess they're not part of the team, so you can't make a statement. But if I'm Iowa, I'm thinking, okay.
How come no reporters asked about it?
I want
You
that
know,
out
Towers
right
do
now.
that. You know when he does that. He's
Oh,
talking
yeah.
people. He's looking at the eye
Yeah.
like you big pusses. You media's a bunch of big pusses. No one asked him the question.
Let me ask Tony this because he's the one who's actually done the scrums. What would you have done? Because he can't comment.
He
You
sat on
can't-
his
Well,
hands, bro.
Not on the roster.
You can't comment on people that aren't on the
Yeah,
roster.
we,
right?
we have been told multiple times like you can't talk about athletes that aren't actually. The coaches will not comment on athletes that are not signed with the university.
So what's the
Don't
move?
you can't even talk about recruits. Like we can't ask about DeLuca until they're signed.
So what's the move if you're there?
If you're there, the question would be, if I would have been there, I think I would have just said, "Hey, what was your takeaway from the Ferrari Glazier ending?" From a
Glazier standpoint.
probably maybe from like an official standpoint of how it was handled in the third period, going into overtime, and then just let him talk because he'll either
Bite your head
address it or he not. Like ask a question that, and it's easy to say this after the fact, right? But that's probably would have been maybe my angle, but. Yeah, interviewing Tom is definitely is kind of scary. Not gonna lie, like because he will give you that eye, like he's talking about, and sometimes the SIDs will just say, "Hey, don't go there," otherwise the interview will be done. So, do you want to get cut off from interviewing Tom Brands? No. So, you are advised from SIDs what you can and cannot probably ask in those type of situations.
What was your takeaway then from that? No question.
I was surprised that no one even asked about, like, just say, hey, what was your takeaway on 97? Not even mention names.
Okay, Tony. Christian Piles says that's a cop-out. Tom could have been asked about 197-pound match.
Exactly. Yeah, they could have said, the question could have been, what are your thoughts on 97? Don't mention names, right? So then let Tom.
Which Eli kind of did do that, and he just kind of ignored that
Who's
part of
Eli?
the question.
He's
The
a
Des Moines
Des Moines
Register
Register.
Oh, I seen that.
wrestling reporter.
Yeah.
Dude, he came in firing.
Yep.
And then
you learned quick.
You learned quick. Yeah. You learned quick in this sport what you can and can't say.
You could have.
Yeah, as he was saying, he wasn't going to be at the event because he had COVID too, dude. Like, come on, know your crowd.
Yeah, no, Powell was right in regards to that.
And we
question.
got Earl Smith saying the same thing. We got all the media heads in here today for the show.
Oh, well, I want all those guys not to be pussies when they got a chance to ask a question too. Then
you hear that, boys?
I can't complain because we didn't have anybody there.
Yeah, well, that's normal.
I think in the media availability this week that could be addressed. Again, you can't have him ask about the name.
So what's the big Clash of Combat? You guys are the insider with those guys. Must have cut this promo or video like between practices or something, huh?
You didn't see it?
What? No.
Oh yeah, he's going on Clash of Combat tonight.
Yeah, you told me that, but I'm saying, is it like live?
We don't know.
You think he's getting his fresh fade and stuff?
They do a lot of their stuff in person, but since they're in season, I imagine it's going to be Zoom. But I think there's something. It's just the timing's weird, especially with that Instagram post that he's going to make some sort of announcement tonight. Whether that's, hey, I'm committing to Iowa, or whether that's, hey, I'm not committing to Iowa and I'm looking elsewhere. I don't know. That's why we gotta find out.
So when school will start?
16th for Iowa.
So I'm sure everybody checks that student director every day.
Is that's public, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard as of yesterday he was not in there.
I mean,
either
but
one.
Let's say this though.
Regardless from his standpoint, if he really was going to wrestle or not, anyways, in his mind, he's made his brand relevant again. On the backs, okay, go do any other program. Going back to argument or not argument, he did it in the biggest place he could make a hornet's nest.
Yes, which is why I am saying that it's calculated. I don't think that you just. I don't know. Like,
that or unfortunately he made his brother a sacrificial lamb of all of his bullshit.
That's
A little bit.
That's
the bad part.
That's the unfortunate part. Is like that. His brother, I'm not saying I don't know him, but everything appears to be. You know, he's not going to. I've seen this with my own eyes. And like at Tulsa, his brother was wrestling in like the semis. The dad said something to the ref. The ref kicks the dad out. He's won with like 20 seconds to go. Makes Angelo forfeit. He's done the match. So like this whole life, like his youngest brother has been, you know, at his mercy of other people's conduct that's not his, that it's impacting him.
I feel bad for Anthony too, just because Anthony's gone through a lot as well, and he went and moved to Iowa City, you know, and did all the classes and got everything together. That
Is he in school?
Together. He's not, but I heard that he was on pace to be, or he was going to like.
There's no doubt. He's definitely from the outside. It looked like he's improved his life from where he had before.
And it seems too from social media, like the team liked him. Like he was posting a lot on.
He's regularly in the room, posting him in the room.
He's probably the only one that's been consistently like I feel like around the team and photos and everything like that, hanging out and stuff. And
him and Terry Brand's flexing.
AJ comes in for 48 hours and it's
over.
And it's over.
Well, it might not be over. We don't know.
My gut's telling me that there's. My gut's telling me it's over.
I don't think it's over.
There's no way. I wish it wouldn't be over, but it's over.
They did a lot of work.
No,
they did a lot of work to be there, and you can't just throw all. And
here's the thing: Tom Brands has done a lot of work, put his neck on the line for these guys too. There's been a lot, like since last May. The Chittum debacle that unraveled, right?
Okay.
You're getting pushback. You're getting pushback from your fan base, probably, and then everybody went, okay, we're with Ferraris. Everybody tries to justify it. You're giving these two guys that have had a history at other places, right? You're giving them a chance for X amount of years. It's 2 years before you even have a chance at Angelo. My whole thing the whole time was we're going to roll the dice on all this in hopes in 2 years that we still get to this piece. So these two maybe fuck it up before you even get to the chance. So there's a domino effect here, guys.
Yeah.
How can we didn't just get some? I mean, I'm not blaming this exactly, but there were some big recruits recently that were leaning Iowa. You know, Cody Merrill, for example, for one of them, that chose Oklahoma State. I'm not saying it's 100% Ferrari, but if your parents and your kid, like, what do you? There's a conflicting in my mind from just a pure fan base is what I have known the brand to stand for or expectations, and if you, Tom, I'm just telling you, there's going to become a point. Tom's not going to waver from that of letting all the distractions happen because that doesn't feed into what he stands for. The Tom Brands I know, and what the brand stands for. When graduate, do it right. Okay. How many times do we hear that? You do the right thing.
Here's the thing.
He's not going to sell us.
If he doesn't go there, right, and you're Tom Brady.
He's already tried, and these guys, he slit his own throat.
If they end up saying no after this isolated incident, just say okay.
Isolated.
But here's the thing.
Broke the internet. That's like saying Cat Williams' interview was isolated too.
That was a fire interview, by the way.
We should talk about that after an hour.
This isolated incident, right? And it's isolated. I say isolated because
you're bad, dude.
No.
This Iowa State guy coming out. He loves it, bro. He just loves the dumpster fire.
I want Iowa to do well. I want them to be able to compete with Iowa State. It's going to be good. Here's the thing.
Compete with Iowa State?
Yeah, the rivalry's back.
What are you talking
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. No. If he's not there, the rivalry would probably waver a little bit. You can't. You just said it yourself. It's 15 more team points. Anyways, that's beside the point. This isolated incident, and I say isolated because once you accept, they accepted them into the family, right?
They're not on the team.
You can do the whole chill thing you want to do. You can do that, right?
They're not.
I understand that, but they're there, right? He's been there since Anthony's been there since the summer.
Mm-hmm.
AJ's been there for a month, I guess. Correct?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we
I have
can
no
say
information
that.
on Iowa
We
State.
can say that.
You tell me not a single photo from the wrestling room from AJ for the last month?
Well, I'm sure there's probably a gag order.
All I'm saying is they're there. They're there. They had Iowa coaches in the corner, right? So
Yeah.
they're like kind of there, right? So that is them saying, hey, everything that happened in the past, we accept it. We're okay. So now the slate is clean.
But you think
The slate is clean. So they're there. It's the first weekend, and he has one slip up. Okay, and he has.
I love this. Keep
No.
going.
I'm being serious. He has one slip up. You're gone. Oh, okay. Well, I hope none of these other guys do anything bad, right? Because here's the thing: Tom knew when he let them in the first time that there was a chance that something were to happen, right? So if they are willing to accept them there, and then the first slip up they kick him out of there, that's almost dumb on Tom to the point where it's like, well, what'd you think was going to happen?
But
if I know that you're coming here, I'm going to know that I'm going to have to put up with some stuff. And if put up some stuff is just one time, how was that a good game plan from the beginning? I know, hey, I need at least 3 slip-ups before I can kick you out of here. The first slip-up, he's out of there. So he already showed his hand to everybody that he was willing to take the Ferraris. Did he not think that one thing was going to go wrong? We all knew that one thing was going to happen over time.
You don't really think Tom Brands is this dumb, do you?
We all knew that one thing was going to happen, right? So you're going to tell me you were only willing to accept one thing? Well, then you should have never had him there in the first place.
I think but if you're gambling anyways to get Angelo, that's okay. If you take Angelo off the table, do you think he even entertains bringing the Ferraris in?
But did he not think one thing would happen?
So let me ask you this: so if I do that and you're going to take your chance, then if I was in their shoes, I would do this. There's a one strike you're out policy. You're already coming in on high. You're a high risk. There you have a bunch of baggage. Listen, we're going to give you a chance. You fuck up one time and you're done. So at that point, if he does that, the Ferraris can't say, well, you got rid of us. No, we gave you a chance. I'm not saying I knew that happened or didn't happen, but if I would do that. Because then it's black and white what the rules are of engagement. You're agreeing to it. We're agreeing on our side. We're going to uphold our side. Are you going to uphold yours? If he doesn't, you're done. So different than any other agreement. He's cancelable.
My point is,
he's self-canceled.
My point is, you got to understand that those guys were gonna do something, right? At some point, something was gonna happen. We knew that. Did you know that? Can you admit that?
Well,
I would say I was assuming something would happen maybe off the mat. On the mat makes it just a completely different situation, I think.
I think it makes it better because it's dealing with competition. If I have a guy go out and party, I would much rather a guy fight somebody on the mat than fight somebody
Bro's doing
at
good,
a bar.
Bro. Hey, this is an A+ performance by you right now. You even showed up in the half.
All I'm saying is
half.
Here we go.
Half yellow hat.
Here we go.
He got dinner with Dresser last night. Like, hey, let's say all of this.
No, I think that he knew that he was going to take AJ. He knew that something was going to he knew that something was going to happen, and the first time that something happened, he got him out of there. My opinion was if you were okay with having him there, you had to be okay with multiple things probably happening.
But Tom's taking chance on, I mean, not chances, but I mean,
go back to my original thing. Does he take a chance if Angelo isn't part of the deal? No. So knowing that it's a quote unquote package deal, we've heard that everywhere. It's they're a package deal to go. Okay, he gave him a chance, and here was the agreement on chance. Do we all agree with what this is? Okay, if you fuck up, you can't say okay. They could still leave Angelo or whatever. I mean, this could all be for nothing, but might not either too.
Let's hope not. Let's hope.
Got some good points in the comments here. The media mogul wrestling wagering weed said, rumor has it they're all going to Little Rock. Christian Piles said AJ is not playing chess here with his persona. He's lost control and he's paying for it.
Whose card did he use? Is that his card?
What are you talking about?
Is that promo?
I thought it said the license plate said Fellers, didn't it?
No. Yeah.
Fellers.
Polk County.
The card promo.
Was that in the on the lower part of Carver? Where was that taken? I was trying to figure out where he actually took that.
Concrete needs fixed.
Looked like Bondurant.
Yeah.
You can't even do a donut right there. I'm expecting like a burnout, a donut, something badass. Like,
is it an automatic too?
He could have been doing.
It can't be an automatic. It can't be
automatic.
He could have been doing the donut and doing this, like driving around in circles. It would have been gold.
No.
But
if you're gonna do a donut, it needs to be a 5-speed.
I just read the caption for that, and I didn't even watch the video, so now I got to go back and actually watch him try to do the donut.
Nobody else is.
What else you got?
Think about who he hangs around with. Like Masvidal and those guys he runs around with the UFC. Every time, that's also a different, like a shtick where, 3-piece and a soda, like acting out like
he's doing that with the sport.
Has driven attention, but he's not in the sport, bro. He's unattached.
He should be.
He could put national champ, soldier.
Okay, let me ask you this. You came in here earlier, and even with what Piles is saying right now, as you guys are saying that it's not calculated. I'm not going to speak for him, but for you earlier, you said that he's getting attention. This is bad for him, and this and that. Is it bad for him if he's not involved in the sport? Imagine he's not doing anything.
That's what I said. Maybe his whole plan wasn't to go to Iowa at all. He just wanted to get another bump on it from a relevant standpoint. Maybe to go to his.
No, what I'm saying is, if he's not involved in the sport, what's he going to be doing?
He's going to be back in New York lifting with that guy at the jiu-jitsu gym. Yeah. Where he was posting on a weekly basis and getting like 500 likes. Or like his relevance now, I mean, even when he won the NCAA title, I mean, you go look at, if you did, Social Blade or use some other social media tools, so look at what his impressions are now, even versus when he won the national title, I bet it's higher now being at Iowa than Oklahoma State when he was national champ.
Okay. I think Tom says, starting now, you behave, you come here.
What do you tell your fan base then if you're Tom then?
Let's see how many matches he wins.
No, what do you tell your fan base?
Well,
what do you tell Tom if you're recruiting somebody in and I'm saying, okay, if my son's going to come here, what can I expect from this program when my son's done wrestling? Not even his career. How's this program going to help raise my son to be the best human being when he's done take on the world?
I would say this: my job as a coach is to win national titles and do the best job that I can do, and I'm going to do my best job every single day that I show up. Your job as the athlete is to show up and be the best wrestler that you can every single time you show up. And with my job is to put the best wrestlers out there. So if that's AJ Ferrari, if that's so-and-so, if you don't like it, beat them. That's what I'd say.
Okay.
Hell yeah, dude.
Okay. Then your brand stands for a lot different than what you preach.
It is a different.
No.
It's
I'm saying
different.
if I'm Tom Brands, if I'm Kevin Dresser, I have a different response.
Just from my experience with covering Iowa and talking with Tom and talking with the athletes, he's pretty loyal to his athletes that on a personal level, I guess, and he'll give the people that he's pretty loyal to the shot over maybe somebody that he isn't really connected with. I mean I don't have like specific instances, but do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Portal would say different.
The last 3-4 years that's kind of changed a little bit because you've had to. But I mean, going back to when he was recruiting like local Iowa guys, like he'd give them, the nod before maybe some other people too. So it's just a different look at maybe where Tom Brands is trying to to try to go with this program.
No matter, I'll ride with him. Ride or die with him.
Yeah, I
just hope it ride the right way this one.
Iowa fans are gonna support Tom, and there's gonna be people that are gonna, say that he needs to go, and that's been happening since Iowa stopped winning. So
stop winning though, dude. That's
Iowa fans are ruthless, right? I mean,
yeah.
They're that's what I was saying this weekend is like, what do you do if you're Tom? What is the right or wrong? I think it's a lose-lose situation.
I don't think so. I think it'll be. I think at the end of the day, what I said about giving chances and they'll put their neck out there for some guys. Does he want to win? Yeah, but I still think at the end of the day you're going to see the right decision made.
I think both of these comments are kind of on the right chord. And like Earl said, it may be out of Tom's hand. And then Craig D said, will the AD allow him to wrestle for Iowa? The thing with AJ is he did the splits and did the double birds. And the AD probably got so many pictures sent to her about that. And it probably just bombarded her. And she said, there's no way this kid is wrestling for our university. That's all it took. It's over, I think. I think both of them made the same point.
Let the boy wrestle. That's what I say.
I would love it. I'd love if he
did. Talk about
did.
Iowa State.
Yeah.
It's been an hour and 10 minutes. I got to go here soon. So can we talk about Cody Chittum getting the job done against your Corey teamer who gassed in the first period? Isn't that wild? Not surprised, but.
Never seen him gas like that.
You guys, yeah.
It was some weird, Reading, some
upset of a lifetime.
That was. Said. Yeah. Oh. Just
you couldn't even see half the action because I don't know if the camera.
Insane. Yeah. It looked like I don't even know. It looked like we were looking through a toilet paper roll.
Chittum was watching him Friday and then watching him yesterday was like two extremes where Friday looked super disciplined. That second scramble on the edge. If Teamer gets a takedown, maybe the match changes, but that seemed like it really took a lot of air out of Teamer. And he rode the shit out of Teamer. And then yesterday, he just
Teamer wasn't getting up.
But yesterday, he just looked like throw all caution to the wind because he didn't think the guy could challenge him. He
got taken down.
Yeah, but not even just taken down. It's just wasn't near as disciplined. You know what I mean? And that's what you're going to do with freshmen and maybe throw it at the wind sometimes. I'm sure they're going into the match a lot different mindset of, okay, this guy's really good, or you know what I mean? Two extremes.
He's looking good.
Dude, he's tough.
He's looking good. It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up at the end of the year.
What about Bastida just picking up Schultz over a shoulder like that?
Insane. He's picked up
those Cuban vitamins coming good sometimes.
Isn't it insane? Did you see that tweet? I don't think this has been updated since the Cal Baptist duel, but 53 takedowns to one. Getting taken down once. You know when that takedown happened? Cleveland State, the first match of the year, the first takedown of the year, he got taken down. Since then, he's done 53 straight takedowns.
They had a really good strategy, finger fighting with, grabbing Schultz's fingers coming in. He can't fight because Schultz can try to get the underhook. I was really surprised. I'll try to say this. Schultz got some wrestling positions I thought he'd be able to wrestle through better.
On his feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. He also hasn't wrestled in.
Yeah, but we've heard that. I mean,
I was surprised to see them.
The most fire match of the year is going to be Wyatt Henderson and Bastida, guaranteed.
Big 12 finals, I think. I think he should win out. He's going to have Pitzer one more time, which he's already beaten.
Pitzer's good.
He's beaten him before.
I know, but he's good. From Pitt?
Yeah.
That kid's good, man.
And then Zach Elam, which I'm not too worried about that either.
So I was a little surprised, and I'm going to say this. A little surprised, there was no upside. If you want to play the game like everybody else is playing, if you want to play the Michigan game where if you've already beat guys or placed ahead of them at tournaments, you sit like they did against South Dakota State. There was really no upside for Younger to wrestle Schultz because if he loses,
he's already ahead of him.
Yeah, but if he loses, right, and let's say he loses to Wyatt Henderson, then all of a sudden he's the 4 seed at NCAA's on the opposite side of Kirk Fleet.
I just feel like Dresser's never been one to do that. He's never really been one to sit guys out, or if he does, he's usually pretty open about it. And I think, too, they want to see where Younger's at, too, because he took bottom, right? So they want to see – I mean, we've seen Younger in matches this year where it's been close. I think the Davidson match, he took neutral, right? So when it's close, they don't completely they haven't always in the past trusted Younger to get out. And not saying trusted, but more like, hey, we feel better about him on his feet.
3-point takedown's been good.
Right. And so then against Schultz, I thought since it's a close match that you would see that, because in close matches, that's what they do with Younger. They don't have him go down, but they had him go down, and he got away relatively fast. So if he can get out from him, he can get out from Kirkfleet.
Stop, bro. How do you even make that same? When was the last time you seen Schultz turn somebody?
Schultz, what I'm saying, the weight
and maybe the gut wrench.
Weight-wise, that guy was – that's what Schultz does. He takes you down, he lays on top
I bet he
of you.
don't go underneath Hendrickson or
heavyweight.
What about Edge Mendez? Get a lot better on the mat, too.
Yeah, he had a tilt yesterday, and I think he took bottom as well. He's good.
What do you think about Carr?
He hasn't really – I mean, I don't know. I think we'll learn a lot about him in the second half. He didn't really have anybody good to wrestle this weekend. Swiderski will be back soon. That'll be interesting.
Hurt?
Yeah, he's a little banged up, but nothing serious. He'll be back. What else happened for Iowa State? Feldkamp, doing what Feldkamp does.
He got a bit with Munoz beating Truex now. I mean, all this seeding stuff. They gotta. Somebody needs to go back to the committee. Like, I like that they got to like a formula, but it's so predictable now that you have all people. You know, and I'm so sick of hearing about the fucking dual national championship. I could puke.
Hey, let me read. I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Let me read something. Well, go ahead.
If you want to talk about growing or consolidate, if you guys want to shrink the sport more from 68 or 63 teams, wherever we're at now, go to a dual meet national championship. You'll be down to 15 teams.
Okay, so last night I was running the numbers, trying to figure out how many
All-Americans. This is difficult.
I'm trying to figure out how many All-Americans Iowa State's gonna have. So I'm laying there. I'm like, okay, I'm hearing birdies, rumors. Dayton Fix is leaving the division. He's going down to 25.
Well, why would he go down? He looked the best I've seen him look in a long time.
That's just a rumor. That's a rumor. I heard he weighed 130 the other night against NC
really?
State. That's just what I heard. And then there's also rumors because Vito hasn't wrestled in the past 2 weekends that he's also going down. The rumor there is he's going down for the Olympics or whatever. So
who are they all dodging? Kirkham?
That's what I'm getting to. Evan Frost.
He
So here's the deal. Those two boys leave. So then you got Crookham, Nagao, Orini, Cannon, Kolioko, and I'll throw in this year Bailey.
Oh, you better throw him in.
So those 6 guys, right? So that leaves that's 6 All-Americans. So you got 2 spots opened up with those 2 guys leaving. Tell me Evan Frost can't All-American this year.
Better get his weight under control.
Freshman. Tell me he can't All-American. Tell me he can't beat the rest of those guys. I would even go and say maybe even, Latona beats him. Maybe. We'll see. Tell me Evan Frost can't All-American.
Dude, 25 would be insane.
I think that's the stupidest move that either of those guys could do. By the way.
What? I don't understand the play there.
It doesn't make any sense with the Olympics.
I'm just saying,
especially
if that happens.
I mean, Fix for sure. Like,
bro, if you keep your weight down, I'm not making excuses for Gilman, but when he went to the Pan Ams or whatever it was, like a month ahead of the trials last year, it was Pan Ams. And then, so when you shrink your body, make weight, and then you got to keep your weight down for that long a time, and then cut, and it's just different. I mean, it'd be idiotic for both those guys. I mean, the weight's not even qualified yet.
I don't know.
So these guys are all talking about their bodies being beat up, sore. Vito puts the statement out about health and all this stuff, and now you're gonna put your body to cut more weight.
That's a good point.
They didn't need him though against Virginia Tech. Did you watch that duel?
Yeah, I watched it.
The beginning of that Myra Shapiro,
fucking Andonian's
Myra
done.
Shapiro and Andonia match, that was going to be a classic.
He's done, dude.
I know, that was bad.
Bad.
That was going to have to be a classic too.
You think?
That takedown that Andonia had in the first
I'm
period.
just surprised Shapiro wrestled.
I think my that email got leaked and he's got to do it now.
What do you mean? What got leaked?
He got a lot of flack for the whole Iowa State duel, right? And the email that he sent out to the donors said,
That was Mike Gray.
That's what I said. If we would have wrestled these guys if they're healthy. So now going forward, he's going to have to wrestle these guys. There's no sitting out.
Yeah. Maybe he knew already being Andonian. Like, I don't know. Tom Cryan got a gift given to him on Friday night, didn't he?
Who's that?
Tom Ryan?
Tom
Tom Cryan.
Stupid.
Tom Cryan.
Well, I didn't watch that duel.
They won.
Feldman. Yeah.
Foca wasn't foking around. He pinned that Humphrey. Is it Humphreys? Not Humphreys.
He's looking good too. He looked good against Virginia Tech.
What are you guys' take on just the overall, like, the holiday duel or the tournaments? Like, Midlands, is it scuffle? Like,
dude, we gotta do something.
Something changed, like, to where
COVID, bro.
Yeah, but
here's the thing.
So what do you think, Coach? Like, that's not really the promotion side of things. I don't think.
But I think they look at their schedule and see who's at the tournament and say, okay, what's the advantage or disadvantage of doing this?
That's true.
So, like, Cornell put some Big Ten and ACC guys on their schedule to get some probably seeding points or whatever, common opponent. But, like, Penn State, they're not going to wrestle tournament all year. Dude, what about Mitchell Messerbrink?
He's got it.
What's that? What'd you say?
Mitchell Messerbrink, like.
Yeah, all those Penn State newcomers in that duel. That was insane.
You see how many people were at that Oregon State duel?
That's really good for
even
them.
you,
8,000, right?
you would have been impressed.
8,000. It was good. I mean, you got a free ticket and a drink to come.
Oh, really?
No.
I was like, dang.
Some of these teams are having to do some
It was a good
weird
Groupon.
shit.
I didn't know there were that many wrestling fans in Oregon. It was a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's this week then? Iowa has Nebraska on Friday, right?
Yep.
In Lincoln?
Oh, who does Iowa
Is it in Lincoln or is it in Iowa City?
Lincoln. Frantic. So we got Frantic and Real Woods and Brock Hardy. Frantic and Peyton Robb.
Yep.
Antrell Taylor and
Keeter and Nash.
Caliendo. Keeter and Nash.
Are you gonna go out to the duel?
That would be crazy.
I would, but I think no one wrestles in Cedar Rapids on Saturday. I think.
Iowa State's got Utah Valley on Friday and Pittsburgh on Sunday.
At home?
Pittsburgh would be a good duel.
Will
We
it?
already did it once. But
What do you think? You think that 141 goes again like that?
if I was them, I wouldn't send him. Well, I don't know what
Dude, what about Camacho's lost 5 in a row now?
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Mental, you think?
You just got to be ranked number one at
I don't know.
125. Is like I've wondered that 125 is so turbulent. Is it still a sustainable weight class for college wrestlers?
What do you mean,
Like,
weight-wise?
there's no consistency among the top
Yeah, but
ranked
dude, the
guys.
model-
They eventually always fizzle by the end of
But
season.
look at the parity in the sport, guys. Like 15 years ago, okay, think about 15 years ago. How many pins were there in the national tournament, like the first couple rounds? I mean, just now you're getting first rounders where like it's a 2-3 point match between the number one seed and you know what I mean. The level of sport is so high, it's insane. Like that's one of my biggest bitches. People think, "Oh, that guy's a scrub." Like a D1. Like you have no fucking idea.
Yeah. No.
I mean, who'd think Router Downey beat Peyton Robb? Downey beat Andonian. No, he beat Ed Scott, and he beat.
No, he lost Ed Scott. He lost Ed Scott in a close.
Who'd
Are you
he
talking
beat
about
then?
at CKLV? Ryder Downey beat.
He beat two. He had 2 good wins there.
Hold on. He lost to Ed Scott. Are you talking about on the backside?
He had a good win on the front side.
Yeah, he did. I'll find it.
Robert Avila, maybe.
No. I don't know.
What's the comments? What's in the chat?
Oh, he beat Patty Gallagher. He beat He beat Trevor Chumbley.
Yeah, Chumbley was All-American last year, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. Around 12. Mm-hmm. Northwestern.
Yeah.
When's Borat gonna wrestle?
Who?
D'Agostino.
Dude, Michigan might need
they
might need a refund.
Hey, my whole question about this NIL deal is this. Let's say, okay, I agree to give you X amount of dollars for NIL, okay? I don't know this. I'm genuinely asking. Is this like a contract that's like it's going to be paid at the end of the term? Like, is there a stipulation? So if you agree to come to NIL and you get X amount of dollars, which I think some of the numbers we're hearing are crazy inflated, is there any obligation to you fulfill the contract on your end before you're paid? Or is it just like if your knee gets blown out or you're out first semester for whatever reason, do you still get the money?
We talked about that in an earlier show, and I think it's just...
It's probably just evolving a little bit. I mean, you're going to have those schools or you're going to have those people that where they got their ass handed to them as far as the money goes, and they'll be like, all right, we got to fix, like, you have to get this
Is it a contract?
You got to understand that, which some people in this room probably don't understand these deals more than other people, but you got to understand that they're not allowed to say, hey, we are paying you
to come.
So what they do is they say, hey, I have a lot of money, and I also own a company, and I also want you to wrestle for, let's just say, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Oh, come on.
I also have an M8, Mercedes M8. That's an automatic, and I want to give it to you. But in order to do that, I'm not paying you to wrestle. I'm paying you to do one 15-minute speaking engagement and pump up my employees, come speak to them, and then you get paid. So if he gets, let's just say this person gets booted from the team and they're no longer there anymore, they no longer do that speaking engagement. They no longer get the money.
Could that person that has that money say, you're not going to get this unless you're an All-American?
I think that could be in the stipulations for it.
You
I
could,
don't think
as long as the coach
legally-
isn't saying it or the university is saying it. If I say, hey, if you're a national champion, I'm going to pay you this. If you are an All-American, I'll pay you this. If you're not, I'm not paying you shit.
It's a performance clause or bonus.
Yeah.
I'd like to see how some of these things are structured because,
You could,
bro, once you get anywhere if you get paid up front, it's like going to work. If you're being guaranteed a salary versus okay, whether you sell anything or not, we're going to pay you $150,000. How motivated? You know what I mean?
All right, you guys ready to wrap this thing up?
yep.
Wait, we didn't
Gotta
talk
go.
about we didn't talk about Baylor Fernandez, dude.
Next
Cover it next time.
Next week.
Who's that?
You at the University of Northern Colorado kid who got dismissed.
Guy's a fucking bum.
Okay.
We covered it.
There we go.
I mean,
We just covered it.
All right, shout out Barbarian Apparel. Shout
Like
out.
when you got to do shit like that, like be a tough guy. Like normal, be a tough guy. Don't be a fucking douchebag like that.
Yeah, well,
Someone should
Seems
beat his
a little
ass. Is what should
insidious.
happen.
all right. Thanks you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, I mean,
Clips
sorry,
this
that's
guy.
just what should happen.